We were instructed to redefine parts of the city and help create a better urban plan and space that would cater to the city's environment and its people, as well as to create viable solutions that would solve its current issues like traffic and flooding. Addition to it is the economic factors and how we can make the city much more sustainable. For the community project, we simplified, summarized, and focused on importance and value of specific streets, which would function accordingly to their uses. There are three nodes, and this consists of Timog Avenue, Scout Tuazon Street, and Quezon Avenue. So for each street, we made basic diagrams and plans to show the layout. We chose these three nodes because they are interconnected to each street, which supplements each other, giving equal benefits to all. The most important node, and is the main node, will be Quezon Avenue because of it being profiled more for transit and transportation, and also along Quezon Avenue. Here you can find transit terminals such as bus terminals, LRT, and MRT stations. Secondly is Timog Avenue. This is the commercialized and leisure zone, which has a high influx of people on a daily basis because of certain restaurants, bars, banks, and other businesses. Lastly, but not the least, will be Scout Tuazon. We profiled this to be the equalizer of the community because of this street being closer to residential yet interconnected still to both avenues. In Scout Tuazon Street, people will find ease and relaxation and exercise for its soon to be open public space park. And as you can see from the map, the idea or concept here too is that people can choose directly on which path to take. Going to the commercial area or park, they can either go directly or take a detour and explore the area before heading to their destination. So for each street, we made diagrams for each, and we all divided it into four parts. So as you can see, we divided it into four parts showing public parking, the streets, the bike lanes, pathways, public spaces, and commercial spaces. This is the close-up plan view on how the street will look like. Before, the street was a 4-lane wide avenue with multiple vertical parking slots on each side and very minimal footpath and bike lanes. The design here was to make it pedestrian friendly, meaning to lessen the use of vehicles. So instead of driving around, people would rather walk since now they can feel safe and at ease while walking. Instead of 4 lanes, we made it into 2 lanes and added an open space island in between with leveled crosswalks intersecting between the island and the footpath along with it is the bike lane on each side too. So for this, we retained some of the parking but instead made it into a side parking and somehow became a solution to traffic because people would now be lazy to wait for a slot since the parking slots are less as before, so they would prefer to either walk or take public transport. Added onto the island are some sheds that would serve as a food hall or weekend market and at times just a rest place with seating generally. Added to the open spaces also the commercial seating areas as seen from the plan. So for Scout Toison, we made sure that this would focus primarily on relaxation and nature, so really making it into a mini park, an open space that connects between the avenues. This plan here you can see how the layout and how the flow will go. This is the most important and main node for the project, so Quezon Avenue. Here you can see that the diagram is divided into four parts as well. Footpath, bike lane, transit hubs, and avenue streets. So instead of Quezon Avenue having 3 to 4 lanes on each side, we decided to make it 2 lanes each side with a center island and having terminals and side streets on each side to have a decent flow of traffic, and with the proposal of the transit hubs and much more comfortable walkways, we are hoping that people would tend to walk and use public transit more than cars. And that is why we made the lanes minimal and maximize more on footpaths and transit terminals. The following I am going to show you the schematics and iterations that led to the final design. This is Scott Toison redefined, a different look and approach from its former looks. Located in between the 2 lanes is its mini island park, which gives relaxation and exercise to its residents and users. So along with the planning design is its landscape architecture of greeneries using planters and trees. This provides shades and purification in the area. For the security and safety for both people and cars, we had installed bollards before each crossing and added a leveled crosswalk. Within the area, you can see that there are multiple park benches to provide comfort and relief to the users around. We also added a minimum standard bike lane along the footpath, and as you can see, we made sure that we have proper road safety visuals. The two roads between the island park are both 4 meters each, vice versa. Our walkers here are our priority, so we made sure to maximize the size and use of the footpath with the minimum space given. This is a new image to the former street Scout Plazon. This is a much more redefined look, a better look for its future. I welcome you to Scout Toison Redefined. Timog Avenue is the busiest and probably the most active street both during the day and night because of its commercial establishments surrounding the area, and due to this, the avenue has a high influx of people and vehicles coming in and out of Timog Avenue. This also causes the streets to be dense and filled with cars that usually park along the active streets and makes one lane unpassable for oncoming traffic. We also notice the inconsistency of the footpaths and walkways and bike lanes. With all these factors in mind, we decided to create a space that gives equal benefits for both human and vehicular traffic flow while prioritizing people and still making it pedestrian friendly. Seen here is this seating area for its users here in Timog Avenue. So this island space is both can be used for commercial or public use. It's an open space for all. Added on to the planning and design of Timog Avenue is the newly placed Jeep and PUV hubs, which would benefit both drivers and people who use public transport. And as you can see, we place bollards between each crossings for safety and security of the public. We also make sure that our pedestrian crossings are level. With this, it prompts drivers to slow down and stop, which would make crossings much more safer. So instead of vertical parking, we decided to have side parking, which reduces vehicular traffic and promotes people to use mass transit or to walk. Street visuals is a must for better road safety. With the design is the standard bike lane that we added, which is 0.95 meters. a minimum standard for a bike lane. Like I had said earlier, these spaces are open for both public and commercial use. Anyone can freely enjoy the place, and businesses can host events or set up weekend markets along with the open island space. Quezon Avenue, considered to be one of the widest avenues here in the Philippines. This avenue has a rich past and was also named after the former President Manuel Quezon. The avenue has two names, but the locals insist on calling it just Quezon Ave instead of the full wording. Quezon Ave used to be a great road because of its scenery. Before palm trees were made, lying on its center island and had proper footpaths and zoning. It used to be known as Calle España and Malawen Boulevard during the 40s and 60s. Sadly, as years passed and as the avenue got neglected by the government, the posh, beautiful street began to fade. This is one of the many reasons why we decided to go forth with this project. We wanted to curate a new rendition of life for Quezon Avenue, making it alive once more again, to relive the past and create the future anew.